I'd say my typical day, somewhere between 7:30, come in and similar to any school teacher, kind of set up my class for the day, and then logging online, seeing if any students need retakes or seeing if they have a test that needs to be unlocked. And then class starts. I always start all of my classes in the classroom. You're going to be able to see how much you can learn just from doing this activity.
Looks typical, but things are a little different here at Path Academy in Windham, a charter school operated by Our Piece of the Pie.
Here at Path Academy, we don't have any textbooks.
Path Academy, in fact, is taking a different approach to education. It's called blended learning, and it's one example of personalized learning.
Okay, what kind of graph is this?
Here it combines traditional classroom instruction with online components to create a unique learning experience for each student.
Students spend a portion of their time in classes with a traditional school teacher,
Gravity is going to bring it straight down.
working through some of their academic pieces like project work, as well as a portion of their time online. And the two marry together very well so that the teachers can constantly monitor how students are doing.
So what things that we put in our mouth are food and what are not food?
This class is studying the nutrition facts and food labels.
This is going to lead up to a lab where they can actually test for the presence of these different molecules in food. They'll actually get to do it in class. But because we have this blended learning option, they can actually go online and do it virtually if they miss class that day or if they haven't gotten to that point in class yet. And they make these little helices that kind of look like...
Katie Berry much prefers the personalized blended approach over the traditional classroom approach.
Find a food that has all the essential amino acids that way. The system that we have where students have to sit in a class and if they miss one topic, if they don't understand one topic, they start falling behind and it just snowballs and they fall further and further behind. That's crazy, and it happens to tons of students in every school district every single year.
But that's not happening here.
Aquaculture. Perfect.
The students are the main priority as opposed to the content, which in a traditional school takes precedence. In this capacity, students can move at their own pace. And so it allows the students the flexibility to pour their heart and soul into something that they find that they're able to be successful in, as well as offers them the flexibility in their schedules to then go back and work really hard on the stuff that they might not have those foundational skills for.
The system also monitors their progress. Because this is mastery-based learning, the student has to master one thing before moving on to the next.
If you're ahead, it turns green. If you're behind, it turns red. If you're on point, it turns blue. So you always know where you are. Like in English, I'm a little bit behind. I go to my English teacher. If I need help, he'll come sit with me at my computer and he'll explain it to me.
I would go home and I would remember those questions.
They like to see, hey, my percentage is going up, you know, and we can chart that progress. Or why isn't my percentage going up? Well, let's look at that too.
Students have the chance to feel empowered and to feel inspired by the growth that they see, particularly because in a blended learning model, they see that growth so quickly.
Do you think that's going to be helpful? Our class blocks here are 90 minutes. My goal is to spend at least 30 minutes in the classroom. We may move into a lab or an activity, or we may end up moving to the computers. There's no way that high school students have the capability of just watching videos and taking quizzes online all day. They can't learn that way. They still need us as coaches.
And divided by how many numbers there is.
And this just frees us up so that way we can do more coaching and less preaching.
If I need help, I just go to the teacher. They'll show me how it's done, and then I go back online and I usually get it right.
More and more schools like Path Academy are turning to some form of blended learning, using technology to let students learn at their own pace and teachers to guide them. The ultimate goal? To prepare students better for their next step in life. Here at Path, blended learning also gets kids engaged and teaches them how to uncover real-life solutions.
The math class actually took polls of the traffic patterns on Main Street because we have such a parking issue in Willimantic. And so they ran some numbers and some graphs and have developed a system that they want to present to Town Hall to help solve one of the issues of parking. It opens up the idea of how is technology used in a workplace. So things like Google Earth and Google Maps, utilizing what the actual city looks like from a bird's eye view. Technology offers the opportunity to see that. The students are really excited because they feel like there's some level of change that they can exact in a real and meaningful way.
So while teachers often have to be more creative in developing their lessons, blended learning frees them up from some of the more mundane tasks.
Maybe someone wants to try moving in a circle and seeing what happens. I have much less grading. The quizzes that they're taking online are automatically graded. They're automatic check-ins for me. They're formative assessments that I don't need to create. It's less paperwork. I think that's the best thing because as a student teacher, the thing that took up all of my time was taking these lab reports home and spending 45 minutes correcting one lab report.
Any of my teachers can attest to the fact that blended learning is really difficult, but it's a good kind of difficult because it forces you to think creatively and to think outside the box and to figure out ways to ensure that the students are the center of everything you're doing in a classroom.
I'm learning better. My teachers are actually guiding me through my work. If you have like a low grade on a quiz, they'll go over it with you if you don't understand it. And they'll give you retakes. They actually help you succeed.
This amount of land is however many feet by however many feet.
I want to be an accountant. I love math. And I'm taking financial math right now. And they show us how to do the spreadsheets for the taxes online and in the class.
I want to go to college for law school.
I've always wanted to have my own company, so I'm kind of learning as I go. I actually learning little by little about how to work a business and how to manage it.
It feels great. I don't need to tell any teacher what it feels like when you see your students succeed because we all get to have those fantastic moments, but I feel like I get more of those. Every day there's something to celebrate.
Students here also have easy access to their work and their teachers, anytime and from any place.
I use a cell phone app that students can use to contact me. It's basically school-friendly screen names that they can message me and tell me that they need a retake or if they're confused on a test question, and I can answer that quickly for them. We have a school-wide email. They can log into their email from anywhere, and then they could use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, things like that. So I try to incorporate projects where they would actually be working with these online.
We've actually seen a huge increase in our midnight logins, our weekend logins, our snow day logins. I'm really impressed and surprised by how our students have utilized the flexibility of accessing their content whenever they can.
And the technology doesn't decrease human interaction, it actually strengthens it.
When you draw a picture, right, you know exactly where things are going to be placed before you even put them.
It's much more like a family than it is like a school here, and it's because we all have access to the online content for each student.
Well, that's good.
It creates an atmosphere where adults and students are collaborating in really effective and meaningful ways.
And personalized blended learning works for all types of students, including those who speak English as a second language.
Porque si está preguntando por una mejor respuesta.
If you have a second language speaker who's just learning, they can read something initially in Spanish and it'll give them both. And I think that helps.
16% o 44%.
It takes one click of a mouse and all of their content is delivered in Spanish, which allows them the opportunity to see success and not have to feel put in a separate classroom.
Again, if we compare and contrast,
And a special ed student doesn't have to feel marginalized because they have something different happening on their screen. The online content can be modified for them to find success regardless of what they're coming to the table with.
Wow, how great is that? That carries oxygen to everywhere in my body. I have two students who happen to be brothers. One of the brothers has flourished here because he gets to spend a little bit extra time on the computer. His brother is one of the students that I need to pull into class more because he has difficulty with the computer-based learning. So they're my favorite example because they have such opposite needs and I can meet both of their needs. Good job today, guys. End of the day, after dismissal, going back through data again, I'll have students that are emailing me 10:30 o'clock at night. Miss, can I get a retake? And then I email back, I gave you the retake, but go to bed, take it tomorrow. Thank you, miss.
In Hartford and around Connecticut, more and more schools are using some type of blended learning approach and looking for even more ways to incorporate it into their curriculum. In fact, a recent white paper from the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents recommends the state start moving toward a personalized learning system for Connecticut.
I think blended learning has the capacity to work anywhere. It's new, it's innovative, it's exciting. It sets them up for more success in the workforce. The faster we can get students to utilize it in meaningful and important ways, the sooner they'll be able to be the next Bill Gates or the next Jobs. Blended learning puts it all back on the students, and it really allows the students to be the center of their own learning and for them to shine in meaningful ways. It's really about students owning their education and feeling empowered to take advantage of the opportunity that they have and the resources that are available to them.
You should be really, really proud of yourself. I am now. Good. You should be. You're making really good choices.